read an article that stated that minimalism is over, that minimalism was a trend among millennials, and that now it is giving way to maximalism. I don't know what generation that you might be in, but historically during the Great Depression, people tended to not have very much and to save the things that they had because you never knew if you were going to need it and not be able to get it because resources were scarce. That generation then raised the baby boomer generation, which without the scarcity of resources was able to acquire a lot more physical possessions. However, with that waste not, want not mentality that they'd learned from their parents, ended up raising the generation of millennials with what often turned out to be an abundance of clutter. Millennials then grew up in that overstimulating environment and grabbed on to the minimalism concept, not only as a way to find some peace in their lives, but also as a more budget-friendly alternative, as it was becoming harder to maintain that lifestyle that their parents enjoyed. So is it true that Gen Z is now going to go in the opposite direction and determine that minimalism is no longer the way to go and try to acquire a lot of things? Is that the trend that we are going to be seeing now? Well, in my opinion, while I agree that the minimalist design trend is definitely going out of style, clean lines, neutral colors, I definitely think we're going to see a lot less of that in both clothing styles and interior design and furniture. However, here's what I think that the article got wrong. The article's defense of maximalism as the newest trend centered mainly on the fact that due to the minimalism trend where everything was very neutral, and then due to COVID where life was very unstimulating, that Gen Z is now turning towards brighter, happier, overstimulating colors in an effort to bring back that stimulation and excitement and happiness and joy into their lives. So as a design trend in clothing styles, we're seeing bold patterns and bright colors. We're seeing crochet tops reminiscent of the 70s. In home decor, we're seeing beautiful, brightly colored paintings and artwork being brought in, perhaps done by local artists. However, if you're like me and don't view minimalism as a single guy living in a studio apartment with no possessions, then I think that the article was very wrong. For me personally, minimalism means that I don't want to have extra things in my home that I don't love and that I am not using. So for instance, as soon as my junk mail arrives, I generally relegate that to the recycling bin. I don't feel the need to hold on to things that I don't love and that I have no intention of using. Because I am a sustainable minimalist, I do sometimes grab that junk mail out of the recycling and then use it to lay down on the table for my girls to do art projects on, etc., so that we are giving that another use before it does get recycled. To me, minimalism is an all-encompassing lifestyle where I'm trying to live a more simple lifestyle. I am trying to focus on the elements in my home and in my life that bring me joy by removing the parts of my life that I really don't like. I'm trying to be mindful towards the environment and the world that we live in and the people around us and the people far away from us by the purchases that I make. And that can mean purchasing less, that can mean purchasing ethically, that can mean trying to buy things that are plastic free. And I'm also trying to live on a budget, and therefore I'm trying to be mindful about the resources that I have and using them in a way that is wise. So if this is your definition of minimalism, there's absolutely no reason why you can't have all those bold, bright, beautiful colors and a very stimulating, beautiful environment. You can choose to live without that excess in a sustainable way and within a budget and have a variety of different styles. So for example, my interior design style for our current house is something of a clean lines, modern, but also with hints of steampunk as well as cottagecore in there. I have friends who are minimalists who are all the way cottagecore, and they only have the things that they love and that they use. And yet, because they love that design style, they have beautiful floral cushions and they have amazing artwork. They have a huge array of kitchen items that they use for specialty baking. And they bring in an abundance of fresh flowers on a daily basis. But they don't have clutter. I think it's important not to confuse your design style with your lack of organization. So imagine your house completely cleaned up and decluttered exactly how you would want it. It may not be minimalist in style. However, in order to get from where you currently are to that ideal point, you may have to minimize and declutter in order to get there, and then you may have to live more minimally in order to stay there. A while back, I read the book Joyful. This book actually really influenced my minimalism journey. The book went through a lot of different aspects, such as different colors and different shapes and different environments and sensory things that our brain actually thrives on to help us stay stimulated and be happy. So yes, your brain needs color. Your brain needs beautiful things. Your brain also needs grounding. You need to be out in nature in the green light. You need to feel the grass and the sand beneath your feet. These are all things that humans need to have, and that as years have gone by and we have developed technology and the ability to make our lives more and more convenient and efficient, that we have lost as a society. So yes, I 100% think that bright, bold, colorful artwork is going to have a design boom. And I will be so thrilled to see local artists being supported more and more. But does that mean that you can't be a minimalist or live simply? Absolutely not.